Hey guys, and welcome to another exciting episode of Picture This Film Reviews. I'll be your host today. I'm Dan. This is my lovely wife, Kayla, and
My name is Matt. Hey,
Matt. If you've been with us our new season, we've been doing some kind of off the wall episodes. We've done some exciting things, but we are going to bring it back to the news today. We have our wonderful Mr. News Guy, Matt, joining us. So, Matt, why don't you tell us what's going on awesome in the world of film?
Entertainment.
well, hi guys.
Hello.
Happy Monday, I guess it is as we're doing this, right? Right?
Probably
Monday? Monday.
feels like a Monday.
It does feel like a Monday. Wow. It's the Mondayest Wednesday ever. Um so yes, as Dan just mentioned, we haven't done the news in a while. We were going to try to do it about once a month, which I think we're still in that time frame just barely. So um we're going to talk about the news. So breaking news. Um, Welcome to Derry. Welcome to Derry. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Of course you do. The It franchise is getting a supposedly HBO Max series called Welcome to Derry, which is going to be a prequel to the 2017 It film that is in the pipeline. And I think Andy Muschietti, who directed parts one and two of it, is going to be somehow involved. I think executive producer from what I'm reading as I'm glancing. Um, so that's coming. If you're a fan of it, Stephen King, which by the way, as we're recording, by the time people are watching this, it's already passed. But as we're recording today, is Stephen King's birthday. So happy birthday, Stephen King. Um, Amazon has announced Blade Runner 2099, a live action TV sequel to the sci fi classic Blade Runner, and of course, Blade Runner 2049. It is not known as of this time. Of course, 2099 is quite a big leap from 2049. So it's not expected that Harrison Ford would be involved, but you never know. And it's not known if any of the other cast will return from the prior movies or not.
As an angel.
But that will be Amazon, so that'll be on your Prime machines before too long, I guess. Um, did you know that there's a 4-hour version of Elvis somewhere in this world? Yeah. Director Baz Luhrmann says that there is such a cut, and right now he's just too tired to release it. I guess he'd have to edit it and make it watchable. But Elvis may not have actually left the building. We may get a director's cut or something down the line, maybe in a year or so.
Is this the new trend in film that we're going down now that like when a film gets made, there will always be now a director's cut that's extended?
There seems to be a running theme. Yes, the Snyder cut. The fans are still pushing for. Of course, they're usually in superhero movies, but fans are pushing for the Batman Forever Schumacher cut and the David Ayer Suicide Squad cut. That seems to be a running theme. But I mean, there's always been director's cuts as far as like released on DVD and stuff like bonus features, but um, it definitely seems to be getting more and more attention. So we may or may not see a 4-hour Elvis movie at some point.
I do have a question because I know you've seen Elvis, the
Yeah.
movie. So do they show his death in this movie? Do they show him like dying
So
or dead, whatever?
spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen Elvis. Let me just throw that up there. Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. Um, you do not see Elvis die. The film ends with his last performance on stage, and then as Austin Butler is singing, it then does a very beautiful fade into the actual Elvis singing on stage, and the same performance. And then, of course, it does the classic words on the screen telling you how everything else ended. Elvis passed away shortly after, and you know the things with the colonel, how that all went down, and so yeah, it doesn't show his death,
Okay. I was
and it
wondering.
and it doesn't do it. I think it does it very well. I know a lot of people that grew up, shall we say, with Elvis. were kind of like, oh, I don't want to watch that. I know my grandmother was one for sure. She still hasn't seen it, but I think she's slowly coming around because she's heard so many good things about it. But she's kind of hesitant because she doesn't want to see Elvis the druggie, Elvis the cheater, and I think the film does a really good job of acknowledging those things, but not putting it in your face and not making it about that. They're just kind of there in the background. So that's Elvis. This is interesting. The Karate Kid movie. As a fan of Cobra Kai, the Netflix series, this has me kind of going, "Arr?" Karate Kid is getting a new movie, and from what I've read, and there isn't much, but Sony Pictures has announced a handful of new releases, and one of them is a Karate Kid film that is said to be the continuing story of the original Karate Kid, which I then said, don't we already have that 5 seasons of it with Cobra Kai? But we don't know, but I'm assuming that this is going to be a continuation from Cobra Kai. If I had to guess, Cobra Kai will be coming to an end very soon. There's been no official announcement, but just from watching season 5, everything's kind of wrapping up, but we know they're getting a season 6. So just my Matt intuition says we'll probably get a Cobra Kai season 6 and then a Karate Kid film to bring it all home. So if you're a Karate Kid or Cobra Kai fan, that's in the pipeline. So be looking out for that. The curtain is closing for the Phantom of the Opera after a 35-year run on Broadway. It's a long time. I think it's one of the longest Broadway running shows. After 35 years, the Phantom of the Opera will no longer be on Broadway. They're pulling the curtain closed.
I heard that about Beetlejuice too.
I did not. I didn't even know Beetlejuice was on Broadway. So
yeah.
I guess I missed that window. Here we go. Keanu Reeves is returning for a Constantine or Constantine, whatever you prefer, sequel with original director Francis Lawrence. After 17 years, Reeves is set to reprise his role as the cursed exorcist and demonologist for a brand new film. Not much else is known at this time other than original director and, of course, original actor are returning. And I think New Line made that. So I'm not sure if that's correct. I'm not sure where that'll end up as far as if it's just going to go to theaters, if it's going to be a streaming thing. I don't know.
Warner Brothers, I would assume.
I think you're right. I think Warner owns New Line now, and which means it would probably either be HBO Max exclusively or a theater and HBO Max eventually thing. Speaking of Warner, so Warner Brothers and Discovery just recently merged. They're still hashing out all the minor details and everything that goes on with a merger like that. That's part of the reason we lost the Batgirl movie. That's part of the reason a lot of people have been released and a lot of movies have been canceled and such. But a new report suggests that by this time next year, we could be seeing another merger. Warner Brothers Discovery could be merging with NBC Universal. As the report is, NBC Universal, which I didn't even know NBC and Universal were merged, so some news guy I am. But NBC Universal is supposedly very interested in purchasing Warner Brothers. So Warner wouldn't purchase NBC. NBC would purchase Warner.
Whoa.
And that would be probably very huge. Warner Brothers is one of those things that's been around forever.
It would all be under the Universal banner. Ooh,
what a big acquisition there.
That would be huge.
I think that would work out better because I feel like they're more together.
Well, the thing is, like, we have so many streaming platforms and options that, like, it's coming down to the point where people are going to have to merge.
It'll be like Hunger Games. There will only be one at the end.
Yeah,
Amazon will buy them all.
Yeah,
probably. Or Disney.
or
Yeah,
Disney.
or Disney. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're gonna like duke it out. Yeah.
It'll come down to Amazon and Disney owning everything. I'm convinced.
Pretty much. Our lot.
Um, almost done here. A couple more. Uh, Jeff Bridges is cancer free. I don't know that I reported that he had cancer, but he did. Jeff Bridges. I'm trying to see where it said. Oh, he had lymphoma. He was diagnosed in 2020 and has been battling it. I remember it came out just recently that he had it, so it's not been old news that he was. He's had it for a while, but it's not old news that he had it. But now he's told everyone that his direct quote was that defeating cancer was a breeze. So good for him, and he's in remission, and
Wonderful.
let's hope that he stays there. We were just talking about Kevin Smith last week. Kevin Smith is in the news for Clerks 3, obviously, which is now playing at a theater near you. Maybe not. It's, I guess it depends on where you live. But he's also in the news a lot, I'm seeing. So I figured I'd report it because some of us know, but a lot of people, I guess, didn't know. That's why it's in the news. I already knew, but just for grins and giggles. Dogma, one of his most successful films, has not ever been streaming anywhere since streaming became a thing, and it hasn't been available to purchase on Blu-ray or DVD in a long, long time. It's been out of stock, out of print. And you can find a copy on eBay or something, but you're going to spend at least probably $100.
Wow.
Yeah. Smith, while touring Clerks 3 and doing press, was asked about this, and he revealed the reason, which again, I already knew, but I guess a lot of people probably didn't, was that, as Smith says, the devil himself owns the copyrights to his movie about angels. Harvey Weinstein, which is a name that Hollywood frowns upon now for good reason.
Yeah.
Harvey actually owns the rights to Dogma, unlike Smith's other films. And there's a whole reason that I won't get into, but if you want to, you can Google it. But there's a specific reason why Harvey owns that film and not the rest of his films. Basically, long story short, the studio didn't want to release it. So Harvey bought the film rights from Kevin and released the film independently almost. Yeah.
Okay.
So Kevin has, through lawyers, he had not had any contact with Harvey Weinstein, but he has, through his lawyers, made 2 or 3 offers to purchase the film, but Harvey is supposedly holding out he wants $5 million for the rights, and which I guess in Hollywood world you would think, well, that's not that much, but I guess for Kevin Smith, that is a lot of money, and he says it's a 30-year-old movie, 20-year-old movie, maybe not. And he doesn't believe that he doesn't have $5 million, and B, he doesn't believe it's worth $5 million. But he would love to own it back, and he believes that he's just doing it out of spite to not
hold it over his head. Yeah.
To not release the film. So there was going to be a anniversary big Blu-ray re-release, and supposedly Weinstein was involved in that from prison, and he was like operating it to make it happen, and he was trying to get whichever manufacturer that was going to release the Blu-ray or DVD to put it out. He sold them on the idea by saying that Kevin Smith would be heavily involved and would be willing to do a audio commentary track and new behind the scenes, documentary type thing. Well, when Smith heard this, he very quickly said to that company when they approached him, "Hey, are you doing this? Because we're going to buy the rights and re-release your movie." He said that he will gladly do anything with Dogma. He loves the film, but if Weinstein's name is attached, he will not be involved. So as of right now, Dogma is in limbo.
Oh, poor Dogma.
And my final news is not, I told you it wasn't a very big week. Netflix is about to release, of course, by the time you watch this, Actually, it's available today as we're recording, so it's definitely out by the time you watch this. It's a so it's not even really news at this point, but it was news when I grabbed it. The Netflix released the trailer for Dahmer. It's a series about Jeffrey Dahmer, for all you true crime serial killer nuts. And it's produced by Ryan Murphy, who has created the American Horror Story series, and it's starring American Horror Story star. What's his name? We just
Peter Evans.
Evan Peters.
Evan Peters. Yes, Evan Peters. Thank you.
Peter Evans.
Yeah, Peter Evans. Yeah. So Evan Peters is playing Jeffrey Dahmer, and again, I grabbed the news. The news being that the new trailer had just released. Of course, now as we're recording, the actual show. It's a show. It's not a movie. It's a series. It's a limited series. Is on Netflix. So I guess if you're interested in Dahmer or serial killers or anything like that, it's spooky season, folks. Have at it. And that's all the news.
That's all, folks.
Well, guys, again, this is our bonus episode. Matt, thank you so much for bringing us up to date on the breaking news that's happening in our week here.
Oh, Queen Elizabeth died.
Oh yeah, Queen Elizabeth. Was that on this show or for our last show?
It was a couple. It was a couple weeks ago, but
died like the 8th, I think.
Yeah.
So almost 2 weeks ago now.
Guys, if you're not familiar with our regular format, we will be back later this week to discuss our movie pick, the Ed Wood film. That was my pick out of favorite directors, a big one for Tim Burton. Really glad to have you. Please, if we missed any news or if you want to make any comments, have any kind of stories you'd like to share with us, please contact us at Picture This Film Reviews on either YouTube or why don't you go ahead and do your little Kevin face, man? You can show the people. Our son, folks, wanted to be part of this. Awesome. With that, again, contact us at Picture This Film Reviews. We are on both Instagram, Facebook. We also have the Picture This Film Reviews YouTube channel now, so we're all inline streamed up. But thank you so much for stopping in today, and have a great rest of your week, and see you later this week. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
love one another.
Woo!